Hey, what's going on? My name is Nick Hadley, and you're checking into Mikey's Untitled Music Show.
Welcome to Mikey's Untitled Music Show, guys. Today, we're going to dive into where the musical mind and musical creativity comes from the artist Nick Hadley. How you doing today, Nick?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're alive, right? We're alive. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to it. I was a bit sick for a little bit there, but we are back. Um, the weather around here in Missouri right now is just completely horrible. One day it'll be like 45 degrees, and the next day it'll just be completely you'll be snowed in. So it's been very unpredictable around here.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I have family in Missouri. My wife has family in Missouri. Her cousins and her uncles live over there. So I haven't been over there, but she says that that the it's really weird over there, they say.
Yeah, 100%. I just decided to move back within the last few years, right after high school, just to be kind of closer to a little bit of family and a lot of friends that make music I'm close with are around here as well. And so it was just kind of to be a little closer to them and to kind of see if I could do more collaborations. With being down here, I used to be in Iowa, so the change from being back in Missouri from Iowa has definitely been like the Midwest vibes for sure.
Are you originally from Missouri?
Yes, I'm originally from Missouri. I moved to Iowa with my mom during high school, like around like the high school, middle school time. But it just wasn't really my type. I wanted to be a little deeper in the Midwest. I'm still kind of on the move, but I've been settling in Missouri for the last few years because it's kind of like my hometown and all that. It's been cool to kind of revisit old memories and stuff recently.
Oh, definitely. Well, we're gonna get into it.
Yes.
So what I like to get into, Nick, is where, our musical creativity comes from, right? And how we formed our musical mind. That's what I like to call it. On our,
100%.
I'm sure other people like to call it that as well, but that's what I like to call it. So could you tell me about one of the earliest times you remember, or, where you used your or your creativity for music, or your musical creativity? What was that first maybe like song, or that you actually use?
Okay, that's a good question. I would say, um, so I started making music. I don't know. I feel like my mom and my grandma, they put me on the music as soon as I was like born. Like I feel like like the earliest memories I have is like going to concerts with them, and I would always be the kid that would be like inspecting like what kind of instruments and what kind of like gear the artists were using at the time. And so I remember I bought a guitar. I was taking lessons for a little bit, writing music, trying to do everything. Just couldn't really. I don't know. I never really had like that push within myself to really like take time and do the thing. And so when I turned about 16, 15 or 16 is whenever I kind of had that little push within myself, like that little motivation, that like confidence, drive within myself that was like, okay, I kind of want to like really put my everything and trying to make like a song. And that's when I would say it helped me write those type of lyrics and those type of songs because I could really put like my mind and my kind of how I was feeling at that certain time or like my energy at that certain time and put it within those lyrics. And so one of those songs would be like one of my earlier songs, but it was probably if I listened to it now, it'd probably be completely trash. But it just helped me kind of break out of like my personal comfort zone of like really putting like my mind into like my lyrics, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, how was that first time? Do you remember that first time when you sat down, started, and you like kind of thought, we're gonna write a song today. I'm gonna write a song. It's not just
Yeah.
gonna, you know, It's
Because
not just gonna be something small, you know?
yes, that would be my song "Ease the Time." Because from about 2016 to about 2018, I was really just making all sorts of music. Like I was really I've been heavily influenced by hip hop and R&B, and so it was like a mixed range. Like I can get down to really any type of music, and I don't want to like I don't know. I don't want to like genreify myself to a certain category just because music can be influenced by all sorts of genres. Like I'm heavily influenced even by like jazz and um all sorts. Like it goes deep with everyone. And so I would say Ease the Time would be that song because it helped me really sit down and be like, okay, this is what type of route I want to take. This is what type of music I personally really enjoy making. And um it's more like that like indie pop because like a few of my earlier songs I like my first ever song I ever made was like a straight pop song and I it was fun, but I think over time people just kind of find what kind of works with themselves. And like I'm not even saying like the certain style I have right now even still works with myself. Like I'm still probably on the hunt to find everyone's like on the hunt to find like their own personal style. But that song in particular, I remember it really being um like close to me personally, just because I sat down and I just like it was like, all right, who cares what anyone thinks? It's like what you want to do, and just kind of it goes from there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's that's where I'm at right now. Like, who cares what anybody thinks, you know? Like, and it's not that like I have haters or anything like that, you know,
Right.
or I have, like anything like that. But it's like, yeah, you have to. I was actually having a conversation about this with one of my coworkers yesterday or the other day. Um, like, she's like, like, how did you start or whatever? And I was like, honestly, I just sat myself down and I said, what do I like to do? What do I
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
to do and what do I want to be? And she goes, she goes, oh, like how do you do that? Yeah,
No, like
like how do you do that?
literally, because I don't know, like there's like I don't know, it's like that certain balance. Because like here in Missouri in particular, where I'm where I'm at, there's not a lot of music. Like there's a lot of local shows around here and there's a lot of artists, but the genres are definitely it's hard to kind of find a good genre match with like the whole indie pop scene. And so that's why like if I do find people around here that kind of have that similar style, I try to hold them very close just cuz around here it's definitely influenced, in my opinion, of course, by like hip hop or like metal is what we see a lot around here. So like we don't really have that many opportunities to really be ourselves as much as we can in maybe other states or anything like that. So it's like one of those things where like you have to kind of sit yourself down. You're like, do you really, if you believe in yourself, can you take it to the next state and kind of do the same thing you're doing in this state? And I found a few people here who have like the indie pop stuff and it's like one of those things where it just kind of I don't know keeps you kind of motivated to keep kind of looking for those type of people because they might not be out of shows like out at the shows right now, but there might be a reason for them to go out and shows in the future. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to kind of place yourself because we always talk about in Missouri, we're always talking about like, oh, Tennessee is probably like Tennessee is a really good music state, or this is a really good music state. But it's like, what if we go there and it's the same exact thing? So it's like you got to kind of execute wherever you're at and see, um, just find your people, really.
And I also told her like it's pretty much just soul searching, right? Like you actually have
Yeah.
to like sit yourself down, like literally sit yourself down at the table at wherever you're at, but you have to. And I told her like it's good to speak to yourself or ask yourself questions, right? Like it's
100%.
like it's good to do it because it's kind of like saying things out loud, right? I mean, you're not really saying. I mean, for me now, I kind of like, yeah, I'll sit down in the back
Mm.
and I'll ask myself like, okay, so what do we want to do, bro? You know, like,
Oh,
all right.
for real.
So what are we gonna do? Especially with this one, with this one, like I went through a little time where I was just kind of um like feeling sorry for myself after I had initially started this page, and I finally just I was in the back and like I was feeling sorry for myself. I like cried to my wife and I
Yeah.
was like, who cares? Like, who cares? Nobody's gonna care about me, whatever, blah blah.
No,
And
I
then
know it's like that.
yeah, and I sat myself down in the back and I was like, who are you doing this for, bro? And I asked myself, I was like, who are you doing this for, bro? And I was like, and I really had to think about that question because I wasn't doing it for me. I was just doing it for the clout. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or for like, oh well, I want to get big, or or like like for the wrong reasons, kind of thing, right?
I think that's kind of how everybody almost is at a certain point. Though, like I didn't mean to cut you off, but like no, so I've had the same, and I think that's like the newer music that I've been starting to make. It's kind of like been more like it's like the older stuff was kind of a little more like just whatever I could do learning and like it was like okay maybe one of these could like potentially one of these could hit and like you can get big this and that like everyone has that certain type of like maybe expectation because we see it but at the same time I think as you learn as you grow and mature as an artist you kind of come to terms with yourself. Like it doesn't necessarily matter if my song gets 0 views or 5 million views, because it like as long as you have like that same mindset and that same type of like that same drive, I feel like it definitely makes things a lot smoother. And you're right. I've definitely sat myself down many, many times, and I've just been like, what am I doing? And it's like one of those things. It's a tricky thing, but I think for any newer musicians, they should kind of take that in as like I think even their favorite artist has definitely like been very confused. I think
Mm.
especially nowadays with social media, there's so many different ways to market and get your name out there. And we see people who, yes, blow up overnight or like, I don't know. It's easy to compare your day one to someone's day 500
Yeah.
within a second, within a 5-second reel. And that can really discourage you because you can see their page getting all this motion and stuff. And then you look at your page and you're like, damn, why am I not getting that type of motion? And it kind of discourages your like, you're like, what am I really doing this for? But that's when you got to kick in, like, the sit down to yourself and you got to like really think like if you're fine with putting the music out there, if you're fine with putting your all into everything, I think you're going to get rewarded like 10 times just as big as like their day 500, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. You just have to really just I don't know, just keep trying.
Yeah, and I have to keep telling myself like it's been a month, bro.
Hmm.
I feel like this last like month and a half or like couple of months have
Hmm.
because I technically started my show at least like the interview portion of the show in January
Yeah.
on January 1st. That was my first episode. But I
Oh,
started
fire.
yeah, so but I started like I started up the page back in July and I didn't actually start the page until like December, you know?
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
have to keep telling myself like, bro, it's been like a month or two. You know what I mean? Like because it's moving pretty quick, but
Yeah.
it's bro, like chill out. Like it's
Yeah.
bare my
Gotta
it's
find
only been a month. Yeah.
Hey, you just gotta find yourself a schedule and be consistent, and that's just like how it is for any type of like artist as well. I've been trying to work on my schedule as well because my consistency definitely could be a lot better.
Mm.
I try to drop as frequent as I can, but I like the last couple years. I think my song making process has been taking me a lot longer just because it's been me really putting a lot more of myself into it, like more of my own like mixing and masterings, getting my friends involved, more instruments. So it's been taking me a little longer, but I think it's been paying off a little more. doing it that way rather than just rushing into things. And I'm trying to drop an album this year, which is cool. Hopefully, yeah, I can hop on that as soon as I can, and that's been in the works. So it's just gotta keep doing the thing, and yeah, I don't know. That's
Oh
really
yeah,
there.
it's something, something that I've always lived by, which is kind of like been coming away from, like I'm kind of going back to it also, is like patience is a virtue. Like
Oh,
it really is. Like it to be, I used to tell my kids, like I have a 12 and a 13-year-old. I used to tell them when they were a kid, when they were like little.
mhm.
Um, all right, patience is the name of the game, guys. Patience is the name of the game. And then my son would
Yeah.
swear, "It's not a game, Daddy. It's not a game." But yeah, like it's what it is. You just have to be patient. Um,
No, 100%.
so who are a couple of your, like, was there an artist or like a genre back in the day when that you first maybe listened to? Like for me, it was The Doors. I don't know if you know the band The Doors.
Doors. Yeah.
They were like a huge musical influence on how my musical mind changed. And, I went to go and, search out new music, and, it's just a whole lot of new music. Is there like an artist genre that made you, that either like influences you now or in the beginning where you're like, hey, I have to do that?
And so many, I would say. I grew up listening to a lot of oldies. That's what my mom really put me up to was a lot of oldies. And so I didn't really get to really listen to like as harsh as it sounds. I wasn't really able to listen to like my own type of music until like I got old enough to really be able to like look up things on my own, like YouTube and all that. So that's when I would say my music ranged. But like growing up, a lot of oldies. A certain band. I'm trying to think because I don't know. There's
There had to be one.
so many. I wanna say a few. If I could put them like in a bucket, if I put them in like like a bucket, I would say probably like Prince. Prince. I was super into Prince. Green Day. I grew up on Green Day. I don't know, like so many Avenged Sevenfold, their drummer, the Rev, he got me like I remember watching like there's this like video rent store. It was called Hastings, if you ever heard of it. But it's like a video rent store around here. And like my friends and I we go there when we were in middle school, or gosh, probably like elementary, middle school. Um and we'd go find like they'd have like live band tapes. So you the other be like this band live, and like so we'd go there like probably once every weekend. Honestly, it was pretty frequent. We just buy one. So like it was a lot of those.
Oh, that's
Right.
awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. So many, so many, so many. What about you?
Oh, well, like me growing up, it was probably, well, it was System of a Down for sure. They're my favorite band, like of all time. Uh,
That's just I was really good.
I love them. That first album was like nothing you'd ever like really heard before.
No, 100%.
And Spiders, and I just the song Mind also. But it was just I was so young at the time where it didn't, it hit me really hard. I've loved music since I was a kid. I've been around it my whole life. Um and but yeah, like System of a Down was a big one. Green Day, like you said, they're my second favorite. Blink 182 back in the day, I'd have to go like No Doubt was a big influence on our family, like growing up, Metallica. So we have like some range. Michael Jackson, dude.
Right,
Michael
dude. My
Jackson.
family was obsessed with my like even Elvis. Like Elvis, I don't know
Elvis.
why they mentioned Elvis because that dude was like he was everywhere within my family.
Yeah,
They
bro. And especially like
they
back in the day,
you know, all
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're good. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I like about music too is and hearing other people's like inspirations and like what they listen to just because it's so like it could be so all over the place and um I that's what I like my music is that like you don't have to limit yourself to like one genre at all just to enjoy
Yeah,
music.
let's get
And
it.
if you there's no hate. I know a lot of people who just kind of stick to their one thing and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So the first, at least on your Spotify, your first song, a couple of songs that you have right there is start to finish, and then the intro to greatness. You had like a like little the three songs right there also, and it was like it was rap, it was a hip hop,
Mhm.
and I was like,
Yeah, I had I had a lot of music like that. Um, before I had a couple projects on Spotify and Apple Music and all of that a few years ago, and the intro to greatness was supposed to be like an intro to like my album, but then I don't know, I just had like a weird artist epiphany or something within myself that I was just like I just wasn't satisfied with the music I was making, and it just didn't feel like it was me, and um I think like the newer stuff, I've definitely like still put some of my like hip hop influence, R&B influence into it. I'm not like a rapper or anything. Um, but yeah, I just wasn't really satisfied with myself while making that type of music. And I just figured, or I just slowly found out within myself, like the whole acoustic indie pop, like electronic stuff is kinda a little more my go-to, and every time I do it, I have fun, like, I enjoy, like, staying up, all night, just making a song, it's fun.
yeah, like I was gonna say the it you did like a complete like 180, and like your original stuff, or your the hip hop inspired or the rap, like it sounded good. It sounded really good actually, like it hit, you know what I mean? And so I was just a little surprised when, because what I how I first saw or heard about you was your that new single, The Make a Change.
Yeah.
That's the first, like, how I got a hold of you. And I was going through your music. I like to listen to, all of our the artist music, or most of it, before I get into here. Um, but I was like, oh shit. Like, oh damn, like that caught me off guard, bro. It really caught me off guard. But it was
Yeah.
good. Like it was cool. But can you tell me about like that epiphany like moment that you had, like when from going like something like to that genre to, yeah, like you said, the indie acoustic, because I love that kind of shit, dude. Like acoustic guitar is one of my favorite like sounds. Like, and I used to love MTV Unplugged,
Yeah,
and
dude.
like all, like I just love acoustic music and acoustic covers and acoustic songs.
Yeah,
So how did you
that's
go?
it man, I don't even know, honestly. I really don't. Had this one song I dropped on SoundCloud, and it was called, oh gosh, um oh, I don't even know. I'm gonna spend too much time even thinking about the day name. But it was more of a pop song. I remember I showed my friend because I was in the middle of writing the album of the one that was gonna be more of just like all types of music. Wasn't really even well placed together. I just wanted to make something. And I showed him that song and he was just like, dude, you should try making like more songs like that. And then I showed my sister and she didn't really at the time, they all supported me, but it was just kinda like, I didn't it was just like one of those things where they were just like, "Oh, yeah, that song's, good," but now I would say I don't know, like, now that I have believed in myself more, because that's really what it was, I just didn't believe in myself, and I really there's still times where it's hard to, but you gotta kinda keep it going for, like, what we were talking about, like, what you're in it for and all that, and so, just kinda sat down with myself, and I was just like, I really making this type of music, and there'd be times where I'd, like, be like, getting multiple songs out faster than I would other times. And then I started meeting a little more like my producer Basil, he he's been helping me, like he helped me with Make a Change and then my other song Shifting. And since him and I have came in connections with each other, like we I don't know, it's just been so like simple. And that's kind of I think that's how it should flow. And not saying it wasn't simple beforehand, and it could get a lot more, it could get a lot better, but it's just been very smooth of a process. Like it seems so easy. And yeah, I don't know, I'm very blessed to like meet those type of people because some of the best people I've met have been through music. And uh yeah, I don't know. I think everyone has their own like special kind of like gift within themselves, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, everybody has their superpower, right? You just have to find what it is and then see if the world will accept it. By
Yeah.
academic, then I mean it's still yours. It's yours, and it's
Mhm.
for the real nitty gritty, is with your family, right? As long as your family is all good and safe, and
Mhm.
your family's gonna love everything you do, right? So you kind of
Oh,
have to
yes.
so you kind of have to filter that out as a part of growth, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay, they're always gonna tell me that it sounds good, right?
Right,
Like they're
exactly, yeah.
they're not really gonna tell me, like, because they love you, right? They love you. They don't want you to feel sad, or you're working hard on something, and they don't like it, or even
Right.
like my like most of my family, they'll tell me, like, not that they don't support me, and like they'll tell me, and they'll maybe get like a few views in, but it's not really for them, right?
Right.
It's for the world, so I kind of had to, not it didn't make me sad or anything like that. It's just you can't get, you can't just, for that kind of thing, for your, I mean, some people can. There's families that, they're creative together, and but when you don't have that, or
Right.
you're like the only one, you kind of have to
Exactly, you gotta kind of maneuver around.
filter it, maneuver it. When you're first getting into, or when you first start creating a song, um, do you write the lyrics first? Do you go with the melody first? Like, how does that creative process start when you sit down and you're like, okay, we're gonna write a new song?
It really depends. It's I'd say I don't I want to say I have a process, but at the same time I really don't. I sometimes with a couple of songs I'll think of like the hook, or I'll think of like a chorus, or how I want it to kind of sound. And then sometimes I'll have a couple of my producers like send me like guitar kits or like loops or beats or anything, and then I kind of see how that sounds. And then I'll say recently I've been doing a lot. I write a lot in my notes, and so I'll go back into my notes and then see if I can turn any of those into songs. So I don't know. I try to find different ways to process how to make a song. And I try to duplicate it as much as I can to make it as fast as possible. But I don't know. I'd say probably the notes one, just because I'm always in my notes. It feels like.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when you w- well, I guess we'll go with this, like, with your latest single, Make a Change. What was the thought behind that song, or what was the process like when you were making that song?
So I told Basil um kind of what I wanted to. So then it was a new year, like a new kind of a new change, if any, if that makes sense. So I told him kind of how I wanted to go about it. We came up with, like, he showed me that, like, kind of like the main like the main part to it. And then from there, I just kind of I wanted to make a song. I don't know. It flowed very smoothly with Make a Change, just because it was one of those songs that you just put your like mind into, and then I think the more you put your mind into, the more you're able to kind of speak. So uh, it was just kind of one of those songs where it's like you're in hopes of like a change, and like a change can be whether that being like moving or switching like a something within like yourself, or just being there for people, like just yeah, I think that's kind of the routes I want to take going forward, especially within this year. Kind of like similar vibes to that one. So hopefully that one people like, because there's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
a little more kind of similar to that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I liked it. Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah. It was like it's a great song, man. Like, and it makes you think, right? Like, yeah, like what maybe I should make a change, you know? And it's not like you're telling anybody that you have to change, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
no.
it's kind of like a self-reflection.
Yes, that's exactly like that's exactly like kind of what I was trying to go for. More self-reflection rather than like speaking towards somebody. Like it's more like realizing within yourself, like, yeah, life's really good, but like there's like certain things I don't know, I feel like we can all do to help each other out.
Do you do you play live at all, or have you played anywhere for like a crowd or anything?
Yeah, last year is the first year I started actually like doing more shows, and I've been blessed with doing a lot of shows around Missouri and a few around Iowa. This year, I want to try to do a little more kind of outside of Missouri. There's a few states I've been kind of in the contacts with recently, so hopefully I can get something going. But this project is taking. I'm trying to spend as much time as I can on music right now, with like trying to balance life and work and everything. And it's been shows. I really like to do shows, but yeah, I'm trying to get this project kind of put together.
For sure. Well, what was that first show like? That first time going up in the state? How many people were in the crowd
Oh
and
gosh.
like what was it like?
My first ever show, I think, was in 2015 or 16 at a coffee shop here in St. Joseph. And there was probably like, I want to say 4 or 5 people. It was horrible. Um, I don't know. I remember it being like, it was fun. I had a really good time, but I just remember it just not being like, I just had a lot to work on. But it was cool. And then my first show of last year, um, it was at the Bottleneck, which is a venue, a really cool venue here in Kansas City. I believe Kansas City or Lawrence, Kansas. One of the two. They're like right next to each other, the states. But um, it was really cool. I would say there was definitely a way bigger crowd at that one. But yeah, so I think that's definitely what I've realized as a musician to do, is like you have to be fine with either opening up for a sold out show to like going to playing for like 4 people at a backyard. You know what I mean? You just have to be
Yeah.
like fine with that. And I am. So
Well, it's kind of like an actor, right? Like an actor,
yeah,
they have to do their commercials, right? They have to do,
100%.
or not have to, but you know, that's how they get into the door, like commercials, little parts here and there. So yeah, it's all about the reps, right? It's all about getting it in, getting your stuff in, and I mean, yeah, I used to like acting when I was younger,
Oh
as
man.
being like the little plays and stuff like that. So it was always like I remember my first time getting up there. It was like in church or whatever.
Mhm.
My first time. Uh,
I
it
think
wasn't
mine was
really.
too.
yeah, like it wasn't really like acting, but it was just like kind of reciting this line, and where I
Right.
was like, they bring the microphone up to me, and I'm like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Not for real.
And they were just like, come on, like just say it. It was like one line, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't."
One last. You're like, I do not want to do this.
Well, what is, you know, for me, music is like it's what I need in the background, right? Like it's always in my head. It's like if I'm not thinking about something, I just like I have a song in my head, right? And it's just like I need it, bro. Like I need it around all the time. Like what do you think it is about music that makes us like humans like need it or want it, or what do you think it is that resonates with us so much?
I think about that all the time. It could be many things, really. Like, I think music just heavily influences a lot of people, whether if you make it or just listen to it. I think it makes like me, I would say going off of what it makes me feel like, it just makes me feel very happy. I like you can listen to like any types of vibes. Um, and you can resonate with someone. I'd say that's really what it does. Like hearing a song that you can relate to, or it could put you in a better mood, or kind of fit the tone of what you're feeling mentally. And I think that's kind of what music does for a lot of people. Um, and it brings a lot of people together. But I don't know. I'll say mainly that. Like my family and I, we bonded a lot through like concerts and stuff, and a lot of my favorite memories with them is like going to like different shows, and even them coming to my shows for the first time. I still remember like that, and um, yeah, so music is very fun.
Definitely. What has what has been the ultimate purpose of it in your life?
I would say just to grow within myself, really, because of course, if I'm able to be blessed with paying the bills with music one day, I definitely would love that opportunity. But I've I would say being able to like start a song and finish a song and say like I did that is definitely like something within myself that I'd be very proud of. And um it's shown me a lot of like different like how to like different types of characteristic skills, I'd say too, like time management, um, balancing like different things, like balancing music and life and family, and there's just a lot of things music has just helped me progress within life. Whether like I'm not even talking to even about like the numbers or views. I'm just talking about like just playing, just like learning different instruments. Like I made it a list with myself. I want to learn like a certain amount of instruments, and I've been like buying more instruments, learning them just for the hell of it, you know. Um, but I don't know. I really enjoy music, and I think even if I I don't make music forever, then I think I'll still be surrounded by it one way or another, like somehow. You know?
Yeah, and at least you tried, right? At
Oh
least
yeah,
you
I
tried.
tried. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that don't try their dream or don't try to do the thing they love because they just like I don't know what separates us dreamers from like the normal person
Right.
that doesn't have that mind, you know? I mean, I'm sure everybody has that mind, but like there's people that are at the line and then there's people that cross the line, right? And I don't
100%.
know I don't know what it is about us that like we want to get past that line rather than just stay behind it. And I've always, been interested in you know, like I said, like how the mind works and how the brain works.
Right.
it's like yeah, I'm just really interested in that. And I'm glad, and this is why I do this also, I mean, I want to interview anybody that I can about music. I want to highlight, like I want to highlight new and upcoming and, artists that don't have as many followers as, other artists do.
Yeah.
But, but I want to talk to everybody because I just
Right.
want to know everybody's story.
I'm
And
about to say, yeah. There's been so sorry for cutting you off, but there's been so many times where like I've talked to artists who don't necessarily have the ropes with social media yet, but who are like so talented musicians. And I'm just so you like that's the thing, yeah. Like I try to talk to everybody as well, because like you can learn something from everyone. Like I learning like tips from someone's day 55 or sorry, year 50 can be very beneficial, and learning someone's day one can be very beneficial just to see kind of how everyone grows and works.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Awesome.
the last question that I like to ask is, what is Nick Hadley's message to the world?
Just I don't know, just the main thing I could say to anyone is just believe in yourself, and just know that when times are tough, you just gotta keep your head up. And whether it's being a doctor or a teacher or musician or a janitor or a really nice hotel, like you can do whatever you want if you really want to, and you don't even need to make it in order to be like to have a purpose. You know what I mean? Like you could, I don't know. You just keep believing in yourself, because at the end of the day, the best person to do it is yourself. So
That's beautiful. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the show. And
thank you for having me. This was awesome. Definitely thank you for breaking me out of my shell.
oh, well, I'm glad I was able to help, man. I'm glad I was able to help. That's what I'm here for, bro. I'm here to help out. That's one of the things I've always wanted to be was like a writer
Mhm.
or a teacher, And I mean, I have like it's just teaching is it just comes natural to me.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's kind of what one of the reasons like I'm doing this also. It's like not that I want to teach anybody about anything. It's just,
Right.
you know,
You just want to like this. Yeah, I understand. You want to just keep in tune and just keep just do what you're passionate about, man. Is that
yeah.
that's it, bro?
And if somebody learns something from this show because of the conversations that we're having, you know, that's a fucking win, bro. Like
Yeah.
that that's a win.
Yeah. Just yeah, that's the best way to do it. Like just be yourself. That's the way. The being myself is the way I've seen myself grow. And I think if anyone can be yourself, and that's like if they don't like you if you're yourself, then they weren't meant to be like liking you in the first place. So yeah. And jealousy is very big. So I don't know, be yourself, and then take care of your family. That's all I gotta say.
That's beautiful. Where can we find your music? And do you have anything coming up soon?
You can find my music on all platforms. It's just Nick Hadley I. I was like 15 when I made that, so I apologize. Um, and I have a new song coming out here within the next week or two, I hope. I'm just adding the finishing touches on it, and then I'm gonna release it. And so yeah, hopefully I can see you guys soon.
All right, sounds good. Well, as we say at the end, everybody, be safe and be great. Remember, we share because we care.
Yes.